All right, here's number 2 in the series of the travel saga. All right, I'm now at the Charleston airport, if you recall. And all the computers are down. Southwest is having some kind of major crash. And the line inside the airport is like many rows, right? And the line outside, not too bad, maybe 15 or 20 people, which considering what the airport was going through was not too bad. So I decided to stand outside and hope that they got the things up, because things happen and you figure it's going to be a little while, but I had no idea that we were talking about 3 or 4 hours that we were going to be late. So I'm out there and I have to tell you, I am not used to humidity. That humidity in South Carolina just about did me in. I'm used to Las Vegas, and it gets to be 112, 114, but there's no humidity, and let me promise you, there is a big difference. And I choose the dry. But I'm standing outside. Fortunately, I had on very comfortable clothes, very comfortable shoes, and that's one travel tip. When you're traveling, make sure you have a backup. A pair of whatever it is you like. If it's tennis shoes, mine is flip-flops. Give me my flip-flops, my sandals, and I'm good to go. And I can walk in those and stay in those for 24, 48 hours, whatever it takes. So tip number 1, always have a backup pair of shoes if you're traveling. And so then I got into the airport and I did get my bag checked. Right now my bag's going to be heading to Las Vegas. And I got through security, all that was all fine. But what's interesting is the lines all through the airport were just incredible. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of people waiting to get off. And because the computers were down, and down not just in that airport, all over the country, well, I have to tell you, I felt really sorry for all these ticket agents because they had no way to look up anything. They couldn't look up and find out what flight you're on. They couldn't do anything. But if you had a ticket, if you had your paper ticket or your phone, which showed that you were on a particular flight, and if that airplane happened to be ready to leave, then you could get on. That's what happened to me. I did get on the plane from Charleston, and my flight was going through BWI, Baltimore Washington International. So I got on, and I did make it there. It's like, oh, yay. So the first leg is done, right? However, when I got there, my original flight to Las Vegas was canceled. Now, there were 3 other flights, and I thought, okay, sure, I can probably get on one. Except, guess what? All of the computers were still down. So they had no way to know who was going to be on what flight. My boarding pass, of course, said that they knew that my flight had been canceled. And so, again, I'm watching all these people. And the ones I feel really sorry for are the people who don't travel very much. They're just at a loss. They don't really know what to do. The ticket agents that were in the terminal, they were really trying. And they were trying to just keep calm and trying to keep all the other people calm. But it was just one of those nights when there was people grousing and being mad and yelling at each other. And you could see that tempers were going. And that's where the choices come in. My choice was, you know what? I'm not going to feed into this. It's not going to do me any good to stand in line and talk to somebody about, isn't this awful? Isn't this terrible? How are we ever going to get home? All that does is fuel that fire. I didn't want to do that. So I chose to pretty much stay silent or say, the ticket agents are doing the best they can. If they don't have a computer, there's really nothing they can do. Finally, about midnight, I was talking to my husband on the phone and I said, honey, all the hotels around the area are booked. But there's one, and I told him where it was, and he said that should be fine, because he travels enough that he knew that area of town was okay. So I was able to leave and get a hotel for like 5 hours, and then got back to the airport. And I'll go into that next phase on the next video. I know you're just so thrilled to hear this, but the things that I'm learning along the way, I do travel a lot. Y'all know that, and I've given you tips before on how to pack your bag, how to have your supplies and things ready if you're a person that travels very much. And I'm going to add a few new things to that. So you might be able to, I actually have my suitcase right here. I'm getting ready to go to Kansas City, leaving tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, I might add. And so it makes it easier if you have things sort of put together. In the meantime, think about each day, what choices are you making? Are you going to fuel in and feed into the fire, the angst that's going on maybe in your office place or maybe in the family? Sometimes we feed it, and that fire and that angst and that misery continues, and sometimes we can just step back and not. We can choose not to be part of the drama. That was my choice this week. All right, you guys go out and make it a great week, because it is your choice.